All right. So let's start with the first sutra. And first sutra is Ekadhikena Purvena. Ekadhikena Purvena. And the English translation for that is by one more than the previous one. By one more than the previous one. By one more than the previous one. So today we will explore the Sutra 1. This fundamental sutra provides elegant shortcuts for specific types of calculations. Before we dive into the examples, let's understand the deeper meaning behind the sutra. In authentic Vedic mathematics, the principle reveals profound numerical patterns recognized by ancient sages thousands of years ago. These patterns allow us to bypass conventional calculation methods and achieve, results with remarkable efficiency. Okay. So let's look at the first example, squaring numbers ending with 5. So in the first example demonstrates how to square numbers ending in 5. So let's calculate squaring using the ancient technique. Okay. So notice if you look at what is this sutra, as it relates to this example of squaring numbers ending with 5. So in authentic Vedic mathematics, this sutra reveals a profound pattern. When squaring numbers ending in 5, we can bypass conventional multiplication entirely, right? The ancient sages recognized that the first part of the answer comes from multiplying the tens digit by the successor, okay? One more than itself. While the second part is always, as it's 5, it's going to be 5 times 5, 25. So this pattern works universally for any number ending with 5. Okay, so if you let's look at this example, the step 1, like we talked, right? In the tens digit, in this case, you have 3, right? So by one more than the previous one. So what does that mean? That you take 3, which is the previous one, by one more plus 1, which is 3 plus 1 is 4, right? So that's step 2. So in step 1, we have 3, step 2 is 4. So what's step 3? You multiply 3 times 4, 12. Okay? As simple as you can see, in step 3, you filled up the first two numbers. And then these two numbers is step 4, which is 5 times 5 is 25. So the result of square root of 35 is 1225 using the first sutra by one more than the previous one. Okay, let's look at another example. So in this example shows another application of this sutra, right, where we calculate a multiplication of 23 times 27, right? 23 times 27. So this example demonstrates another application of Ekadhikena Purvena, where the Vedic sages discovered a special pattern when multiplying two numbers with the same tens digit, right? 2 and 2. Okay? And the ones digit or the units digit, which is 3 and 7, that sum up to 10, we can use a two-step process. First, multiply the tens digit by one more than itself. right, for the first part of the answer by one more. Okay. Then multiply the ones digit for the second part. So this elegant pattern eliminates the need for carrying digits or multiple steps of multiplication. So let's walk through the steps. 23 times 27. First step, okay, is talked about. If you want to look at the units, right, 3 and 7. So you add them. So 3 plus 7 is 10. So that gives a check mark of if this method will work for a multiplication of like something like 23 by 27. All right, now you take the ones digit or the units digit, right? The 10th digit, which is 2. Okay. So you apply the one more on that. So 2 plus 1, 3. So 2 times the plus 1, 3 is 6. Okay. So now that becomes the result. As part of the result, that becomes the first answer, that's 6. Okay. And then now you have 3 and 7. You multiply that, and that's 21, right? So that's what you do here. You put 21. So 23 times 21 is 621. Again, this would apply if the tens digits are same and the units digit total up to 10, right? So in this case, 3 plus 7 is 10. So 23 times 27, right? You apply the one more than the previous one on the tens digit, right? So that's 2 times 2 plus 1, 3, that's 6. And then you multiply the units digit 3 and 7, 21. Okay. So in conclusion for this, Sutra 1, Ekadhikena Purvena, it demonstrates the elegance of Vedic mathematics, turning complex calculations into simple, systematic procedures, right? The Vedic insights we have explored today reveal how ancient sages recognize the universal patterns in numbers, creating methods that remain relevant and powerful even in our modern world. The sutra forms the foundation of many other techniques we will explore in our journey through the Vedic sutras for the Vedic mathematics. As you practice these techniques, remember that you are connecting with mathematical wisdom that has been preserved for thousands of years, offering not just calculation shortcuts, but a deeper understanding of numerical relationship, right? And like I said, if you look at this, it's all recognizing different patterns. So as we go through all the sutras, you will see that, right? So in today's world of artificial intelligence, we talk a lot about pattern recognition, right? So which is all based on what this ancient Vedic mathematics, the sages had already talked to us about, that how to recognize patterns on numbers, with numbers.